I'm doing this particular episode only because a huge supporter of mine come up with some information or some problems that she was having. So I decided to just make this into an episode. And um, a lot of people are being tracked, let's put it that way, and are being sucked by negative energy vampires. And they're trying to figure out how to get rid of this. And what you have to remember is that you have to go to the root of things. With my information, I like to go to the direct root. And the direct root of any type of tracking and bugging type of intelligence, period, you would have to research CIA type of documentation and get into the CIA's information. If a lot of people out here now these days, believe it or not, are indoctrinated by FBI information, not necessarily CIA information, so they don't understand how to cross-reference things. And that's the difference with the CIA and the FBI is they do a lot of cross-referencing internationally, not just here nationally, but internationally, and understanding various different languages and intel and how to communicate, even on a technical level. Because when you've been tracked or bugged or even duped, some people have been duped, which is kind of similar to being cloned. Duplicated is when your mind or your intelligence has been kind of like morphed or doubled, and somebody can take on your intelligence. So people are suffering from this through sexual, not only sexual guilt, but sexual immaturity, and getting into sexual experiences prematurely, essentially, and not knowing enough information about the person you're engaging with. I'm talking about sexual experiences that involve touching, because there is a level of sex that involves no touching, and that's the Lumerian aspect that I've always spoke on in my other videos about. Lumeria is where they practice that type of doctrine, that when you get into sexual experience through the mind or through telepathy, which eventually is supposed to lead to a physical episode. But that's another thing. But a lot of this tagging and tracking, and people are having problems and they're wondering why being followed and stuff, believe it or not, is coming from the sexual experience. And then secondly, your diet. First, your sexual experience, meaning that you might be like, well, I'm married and I don't, I'm still going through this or whatever. It's like, do you really, not really do you know who you're married to, but like even your partner in past relationships that he or she may have been in, you have to watch that too as well. So like a lot of times in marriages, you really can't consider yourself married until like a certain amount of years. So like in a lot of Eastern religions, they don't partake in a lot of sex when they get married in the beginning. But they may have sex, at the beginning, the honeymoon, and they'll take a break after that 6-month honeymoon, and then maybe come back a couple of years later and then re-engage in sexual experience because of tracking, what we're speaking of, and being able to narrow down sexual energy so that when you exchange, because remember, this is one of the highest forms of business exchange that you can get into. And it's not really understood by many but the CIA. And a lot of people, they want to opt out of the tracking because they know they're starting to realize what they got themselves into, because there's many levels to this. Talking transhumanism, transgenderism, and you may not know. Because, out here, there's a lot of rights for people that are transhuman, transgenders, because of moving through the matrix. They've created a lot of rights for those type of people to move through the matrix a certain type of way. What do I mean by that? Transgenders have to move through the matrix different than, someone is just a natural human being. Like myself, I consider myself a natural being, and I've been naturalized and everything. But you have other people that have not been through that ritual of naturalization, and they have to move through the matrix as a transhumanist, and they have rights. It's this has been a part of America from the beginning. The computers and the technology is just that it was kept a secret and eventually made public. What now? Like the past 100 years or whatever, like since maybe the 1900s, we starting to get into understanding what a computer is and all of that. But it was always computer technology. What do you think? A lot of these languages that you see like on pyramid walls and you think are just symbols and stuff. These are computer codes and symbols locked into higher technology that's on this planet that can only be activated on certain levels, certain dimensions, and certain thought levels. So there's certain technology you can't even interface with. So like the tracking to deprogram it will require one to first begin to interact and interface with the natural technology that you were created with when you were born here on this planet. And going back to that and deprogramming from a lot of the foods, getting the sexual experience unknowingly, not knowing a person's birth record fully and just engaging in that on a spiritual level, not knowing a person's astrological chart and then engaging in sexual experience. All of these things need to be, like you saying, you're going to marry this person. Essentially, when you get into an experience like that, it should be done as a ritual and not just as a play, but as a ritual, lasting up to about 15 years before you can say, okay, now 15 years later, we're married for real. And this is my wife. Whereas some, they don't understand it. So young people watching this video, you have an opportunity to do that. Of course, people that are older, you don't want to wait 15 years. I understand that. So you can go through a simulated experience, in a year or something, demonstrating what I just said. You may be 60 and I want to get married. I don't want to wait 15 years or be 75. Yeah, of course we get that. So you just go through the same experience, just simulated, at an elder age. But again, breaking away from the cords that you've created sexually, they really are cords. A lot of love healers know this, but they don't realize this on a scientific level, though. They know this on spiritual level. They're cords, and no, this is programming that can be deprogrammed and decoded with extreme rituals that could take years, even decades, even. But look, how long did it take for you to get yourself into this? How long have you been engaging in unknowingly and ignorantly engaging in sex? So how long it's going to take you half of that time to get out? You may have been doing this for 5-10 years. It may take you 5 years to figure this stuff out. I'm not saying you have to take the whole 15 years for real with the partner, but it's just in taking that time to figure out what I just said, the blueprint, and doing that on your own time and on your own course, because that's the only way to break away from the bugging, the tagging, and even the hacking that they're doing and taking your ideas and stuff that they're doing now. The matrix is getting deep. As more beings try to incarnate here, it's getting deeper and deeper. So hopefully that helps. It's not about really like looking at this again like a demon. I want to say this. This is not a demon. This is just something that naturally happens when you engage in experience with and exchange chemicals that can be, and I want to say this too, can be tracked through technology and computers, believe it or not. The chemicals, it can be tracked through computers, and all this stuff can be stored and is being stored here on this planet and various other planets, which you will learn when you get deeper into some of the astrological information that I teach. So thank you guys for listening and watching. Keep the donations coming, as always. Namaste.